Today, Precarious plays
Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. The leader of the enemy clan just suggested that we would soon be history. And this is the response of your protagonist. We're not going to lose to any other clan. That is some very... I feel like if the protagonist of this game, if New Kid has one characteristic that is shown repeatedly throughout the game,
Yeah.
it's that he's determined. And I feel like that may be the whole point of his character. So, I really like Final Fantasy Tactics,
Yeah.
the original.
Yeah.
I like the protagonist of that game, Ramza, because his whole character is based around trying to do what's right, and trying to do actions that feel true to his concept of self, right? His identity. Even at great personal expense. Even at great societal expense, right?
Right.
That poor guy is dirt poor in social currency by the end of the game. I think he's actually excommunicated
Oh.
from the major in-game church.
Okay.
It's a pretty big deal to his character, is the self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it's a weird, very personal kind of self-sacrifice, because until things get a little more fate of the worldy, it really is just to indulge his personality. It's to indulge himself. He is willing to sacrifice his personal safety and the opinions others hold of him to reinforce his chivalrous values, right?
Right.
So I think there's another character named Delita, and they are childhood friends. I believe, if I recall correctly, that Ramza is a bastard. I think he was born out of wedlock. So he's like skirting on the fringe of polite noble society to begin with.
He's just good blood, wrong side of the sheets type of situation.
Yeah, I think that his dad is very well respected, which is why your character still has opportunities in life, right?
Ugh, it must have been so exhausting to live in a time when that mattered.
I mean, it depends on what
Where?
circles you run in even today.
Yeah, you're right. But, you know.
Anyway. Ooh, that's a great target for that. He is friends with a boy named Delita. And Delita is of very common birth.
Right.
He and his sister, tragically I cannot remember her name because she's not in the game for very long. She plays a very important role in the plot, in the overall story, but she's just not there long enough for me to remember her name because I'm slow to remember names, you know? So I'm very sorry, Delita's sister. Rest in peace. Sorry, I just chuckled because I was trying not to give anything away, and then I realized that's the ultimate giveaway.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Damn it!
But my brain was like, so she's dead.
Yeah, she kicks off one of the most important elements of the story, which is Delita working his way through high society, and I think eventually becoming the king of the region. Yeah, in an intentionally fairy book tale kind of way, right? Like, he goes out of his way to arrange a situation where he can save a princess to marry her, and then I think that she winds up trying to stab him, and then he stabs her to death.
That sounds like
And-
much more complex shit than what's going on right now.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And it's just tragic, and I don't even know, I think that he might keep living, but I think, like, the last scene with him is just him just sad, and I don't think that he's very fulfilled, and he's just laughing at the life that he's had to lead to get to this point. And he's just, like, clutching his beautiful, super dead wife in his arms, and I think the camera pans up, and I don't know what happens to him. I don't know if he keeps living or if he dies from his wounds after that. Anyway, so the whole reason why that starts is because there's a hostage situation where a nobleman who's a total dick, fuck that guy and his stupid crossbow. There's a nobleman in the hostage situation that's just like, shoot anyway, who cares? And Delita's sister is killed. Right?
Yeah.
And it's really bad. Like, it's really well done, even though it's graphics similar to these.
Close enough.
On the PlayStation, right? So they don't have a lot to work with, really. But there's this tragic moment where either he orders the shot or he takes the shot himself, and they shoot his sister intentionally, even though she's being held hostage. And then she just slumps. And in sprites like this, you know, it's a really minor change, but you just see her go still, and then the guy's like, oh my god, and drops her. Like, he lets her go and she collapses into a pile on the ground, and then a second later they're like, oh wait, we've got more than one crossbow. And they shoot him too, and then he winds up, like, dragging himself back into a windmill, and then he blows the windmill up as, like, one final defiant act. It's a mess. It is a damned mess. And it kicks off the whole game because Delita's very understandably super pissed because they could have resolved that situation
like a
very
million
differently. But they just didn't, because that noble brat was like, it's just a commoner. She's barely worth the bolt that I'm firing into her. And that's just that he wound up, eventually his actions lead to a very unstable nation. I mean, it has to be, because, like, the actual royal wound up dead, and then it was just Delita, or maybe no one. I don't think they had time to have a child together. I'm freaking out. I have not done...
You've not tried to explain this to anybody?
Yeah, I have not done this much speaking aloud about Delita's portion of the story. I'm all prepared to talk about Ramza.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on, I need to refocus. Why did I bring all of this up? Ramza. He is friends with Delita despite the difference in their status.
Yeah.
And I think that they're trying to do that again with New Kid.
Yeah.
And I don't like New Kid, but I do respect him. I don't know if I made that clear before. I don't like this character.
Like, he is not your friend, but he is determined as fuck.
And I respect that, because he has decided that this... okay, you'll see. You'll see over the course of the game. He sticks to his guns. Even if I don't agree with his guns, he sticks to them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of a part of Hamilton that I can't tell you about yet, but...
It's American history, and you can spoil it.
It's a mess. It's a goddamn mess.
This is not, just to be clear, I know this is not the same era of history, but it's like, and then Robert E. Lee, he led his men, and then what happened? What happened? Did the South win? Is that what happened? But then what happened to all of those people that had to do work they didn't want to do?
Yeah, well, it's a damn mess, I think, is the answer to everything, right?
And it's like, and then George Washington collapsed from his wounds, It's like, oh my God, did he live?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, he did. He still had stuff to
alive
do.
now? Can I go see him?
Sounds like an okay guy.
Oh my God.
I'd like to have a chat with him.
I've been listening too much.
Frederick Douglass. I'm sorry. No, that's getting. This just got too close to reality. Never mind. Abort. Abort the conversation. Hey, remember how you scared me nearly to death by not turning the TV volume down? That's a fun story. Let's talk about that for a second. I've been turning the television away from the couch a bit whenever we sit down to record because it is so darn hot that it even just saving like 1 degree by sort of deflecting that out of the recording tent helps considerably. And I was like, hey, Odette, can you turn the TV on and can you turn the volume down to like, 8 or 6 on a scale of like 100? And she was like, yeah, sure. And then I turned the TV on and then Final Fantasy Tactics is like... It yelled at me.
Oh.
It scared me.
And you were like, oh my God, I'm sorry. What?
TV, we've known each other for so long. What did I do?
Oh my God.
Here, let's resolve this conflict, and then we will move on to greener pastures. Because this map I think is probably one of the most fair maps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really bland to look at.
Yes.
But every time I come here, I'm like, oh, good. I don't have to deal with a lot of height difference, you know?
Mm-hmm. But then it's less interesting.
I'm gonna go ahead and suggest this is because I've played this game so much over my life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice dodge. I feel like less interesting, but actually easier to complete quickly
Yeah.
is something that I kind of prefer. Like, I think one of my favorite maps is reserved for like the martial tournaments that you can enter. It is a very small arena that is I think it might just be like a 5x5 or something with columns in the corner. And it is really tiny, and it has a little bit of extra space that you can actually, I don't think you can move into it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of my favorites because the maps there, they are resolved really fast. Okay, so let's review what we got in victory and then we'll take a rest.
I love how every time you say things like every time you have a statement that includes rest in it and it ends on rest,
yes,
you pitch your voice the same way that Dexter's dad does, and I know that about you. You're like, and now we'll take a rest, and now it's time to rest.
And the funny thing is, I've been doing that the entire time you've known me.
Yes, and at the end of the bar of music, there's a rest, and next to you, under your arm, there's a rest.
And now for your crimes, you're under arrest.
Exactly.